30-day trial before I take back my time to make you pay. 30-day trial.
Welcome to The Girly Critic, where I talk all things pop culture and commentary on music and the artist's artistry and analysis on them. In this review, I will be talking about Rihanna. Now, this is only opinion-based, and everything that I do mention is just for entertainment purposes only. And I hope you enjoy my take on it and your day continues to go sublime as your face. Now, without further ado, let's get into the video. Rihanna has always been a trailblazer and the woman with a versatile edge to her with tact and how she submits herself in the music industry. From dominating the charts with era-defining hits to her reshaping beauty standards with her successful business Fenty Beauty that is continuously serving a purpose for all the makeup girlies, to setting the blueprint for effortless cool and made an impact in fashion with starting Savage X Fenty, where if she were to even wear a trash bag as a dress, you would call it fashion and can rock any hairstyle and it would be called revolutionary. She is the recipient of numerous accolades, including 9 Grammy Awards, 12 Billboard Music Awards, 13 American Music Awards, and 7 MTV Video Music Awards. Rihanna's greatest artistic gift isn't simply her voice, it's her instinct. She consistently chooses songs that fit her personality rather than chasing vocal showcases. She understands mood, atmosphere, and emotional storytelling. She's given us Caribbean-rooted bops, emotional ballads, fearless reinventions, and some of the most recognizable songs of our generation. She is the queen of never oversharing and has an air of sharp subtlety in-your-face music that you love and enjoy, and she is so marketable and mesmerizing that she can go from making pop to R&B and trap music and it will always catch your attention. She has poker face allure that invites you to know what she means and why she means it, and carries herself with the persona of tough rebel femininity that asserts herself exactly as you see her, and it's truly a take it or leave it, but you definitely can't say she doesn't leave an impression. Rihanna isn't just an artist, she's a cultural force. She's the highest certified female digital single artist by the Recording Industry Association of America, the RIAA, and has 8 diamond certified singles and 14 #1 singles on a Billboard Hot 100. She is the first female musician to achieve billionaire status. Rihanna founded a nonprofit Claire and Lionel Foundation, the cosmetics brand Fenty Beauty, and the fashion brand Fenty under LVMH. She was named an ambassador by the government of Barbados in 2018 and declared a national hero of Barbados in 2021. Since 2016, Rihanna has been releasing singles and performing sporadically. She has also ventured into acting too, and her film roles include Battleship that she did back in 2012, Home that she did back in 2015, Ocean's 8 back in 2018, and Smurfs last year back in 2025. She's in her own lane from what you get from her too, and she's mastered a unique way of owning her identity and setting her own pace in the most defiantly triumphant way possible. She's become an influential figure in pop culture and is known for her multifaceted career, artistic reinventions, and eclectic fashion style. With estimated sales exceeding 250 million records, Rihanna is one of the best-selling music artists of all time. Her Music of the Sun era introduces us to Rihanna. This will be her first debut album that was recorded after signing with Def Jam Recordings and SRP that was released on August 29, 2005. Record producers Carl Sturken and Evan Rogers, who helped Rihanna record her first single, Ponder Replay. Music of the Sun is a dance pop, dance hall, and R&B album that incorporates elements of pop, hip-hop, Latin pop, and other Caribbean music genres such as reggae and soca music. Commercially, the album was a moderate success, debuting at number 10 on a US Billboard 200 and number 6 on a US top R&B and hip-hop albums. It produced 2 singles, Ponder Replay that was always on replay, and If It's Loving That You Want, the former of which peaked at number 2 on a US Billboard Hot 100 and number 1 on the US Dance Club Songs. Ponder Replay was released as the album's lead single on May 24, 2005. The song peaked at number 2 on the US Billboard Hot 100 and was followed by a music video, which is directed by Little X and features Rihanna in a nightclub setting, and it was so Y2K and it was very colorful and inviting. If It's Loving That You Want was released as the second and final single from Music of the Sun on December 2, 2005. The song was in its own form of how it charted, but not in a similar way that Ponder Replay was, or let alone Experience. Though it managed to peak at number 36 on a US Billboard Hot 100 and inside the top 40 of multiple other record charts. Music of the Sun was certified platinum by the Recording Industry Association of America, the RIAA. So the only song that I like from this album is Pon de Replay. So I rate this album a 5.5 out of 10. Between her Music of the Sun era and A Girl Like Me era, you can see the development of where her voice began. Piggybacking off her Music of the Sun era, her A Girl Like Me era incorporated more or less of the same elements of her debut album. A Girl Like Me is her second studio album and was released on April 10, 2006 by SRP Recordings and Def Jam Recordings. For the production of the album, Rihanna worked with Evan Rogers, Carl Sturken, Stargate, J.R. Rodham, and label mate Neo. A Girl Like Me is a pop, dancehall, and R&B album influenced by Rihanna's Caribbean roots. The album also incorporates elements of rock music and ballads for a more emotional tone to her album. In February 2006, Rihanna announced that she was going to release her second studio album in April 2006 under the name A Girl Like Me. When asked about the album in an interview with MTV News, Rihanna stated, quote, "Vocally, I matured so much, and lyrically, I'm speaking about stuff I would never sing about. Now I'm singing about experiences that I've gone through and stuff that other 18-year-old girls go through, so it's all about progression," unquote. In regards to the title of the album, Rihanna explained, quote, "It's called A Girl Like Me because it's a very personal album. It's my baby. It's all about what it's like to be a girl like me, speaking of personal experiences as well as things that girls like me have gone through," unquote. With this album, she was actually able to avert from label expectations and pressures from her first debut album and was pretty much able to flow seamlessly into this album without the need to over-promote it. And that was good that she capitalized off of her first debut album so that way the momentum could continue following. So, A Girl Like Me was released less than 8 months after Rihanna's debut album. It peaked at number 5 on the US Billboard 200. A Girl Like Me had 4 singles from the album: SOS, which became Rihanna's first single to reach number 1 on the US Billboard Hot 100, Unfaithful, and Break It Off, both reaching the top 10 on the Billboard Hot 100. However, the album's third single, We Ride, failed to reprise the success of the album's other singles. The album has been certified twice platinum by the RIAA, Recording Industry Association of America. The only 2 songs I like from this album is SOS and Unfaithful, so I give this album a 6 out of 10. On to her Good Girl Gone Bad era. This album really sets the tone of her musical evolution from this point on. This will be considered her third studio album that was released on May 31st, 2007 by Def Jam Recordings and SRP Records. Rihanna worked with various producers on the album, including Tricky Stewart, The Dream, Neil the Matrix, Timbaland, Carl Sturken, Evan Rogers, and Stargate. Inspired by Brandy's fourth studio album, Aphrodisiac, Good Girl Gone Bad is a pop, dance pop, and R&B record with 1980s music influences. Described as a turning point in Rihanna's career, it represents a departure from the Caribbean sound of her previous releases, Music of the Sun and A Girl Like Me. Apart from the sound, she also endorsed a new image for the release, going for a more edgier, mature, defining look. And that look was so Rihanna, and the transition made sense, and this will be considered a good catalyst of her image, aligning with her music from this point on. Good Girl Gone Bad inspired Rihanna to transform her image from a teen pop princess persona into a fully fledged superstar. People magazine noted that Rihanna follows the likes of recording artists Mariah Carey, Janet Jackson, and Christina Aguilera when she sheds her formative image for an edgier looking sound. Deshaun Smith of Billboard commented on Good Girl Gone Bad impact for Rihanna's career on the 10th anniversary of the album's release. Quote, "The Good Girl era became a universally recognized moment where RiRi solidified her position as an international superstar. Her signature bob haircut and newly seductive stage persona captivating fans and press," unquote. The album received 7 Grammy Award nominations and 1 win in the Best Rap Song Collaboration category for Umbrella at the 2008 ceremony. The album debuted at number 2 on the US Billboard 200 chart and sold 162,000 copies in its first week. The reissue sold 63,000 copies in the first week and helped Good Girl Gone Bad jump from number 124 to number 7 on the US Billboard 200 in its 55th week. It was certified 7 times platinum by the RIAA and has since earned 8.6 million album equivalent units in the United States. And by November 2013, both Good Girl Gone Bad and the reissue has sold 2.8 million copies in the United States alone. It became Rihanna's then Best Start album entry, and as of June 2017, the album has sold over 9 million copies worldwide. The songs that I liked off this album were Umbrella, Don't Stop the Music, Breaking Dishes, Shut Up and Drive, Sell Me Candy, Rehab, Question Existing, Good Girl Gone Bad, Disturbia, and Take a Bow. So I rate this album a 7.5 out of 10. Her rated R era was her edgy, more darker elements in her musical transitional style. This will be her fourth studio album that was released on November 20th, 2009 by Def Jam Recordings and SRP Records. Recording sessions for the album began in March 2009 and took place at recording studios throughout the United States and Europe. Musically, the album represents a departure from her previous effort, Good Girl Gone Bad, which contained up-tempo and ballad-oriented songs. Rated R is a rock-influenced pop, hip-hop, and R&B album. It features a foreboding and atmospheric tone in terms of musical and lyrical direction, and it incorporates elements of dubstep. It also explores other genres such as dancehall and rude boy and Latin infusion in Te Amo. The album debuted at number 4 on the US Billboard 200 chart and sold 181,000 copies in its first week. Hard became her 13th US top 10 single, while Rude Boy topped the US Billboard Hot 100 chart for 5 consecutive weeks. Rated R is deemed as an important album in Rihanna's career and a groundwork inspiration for her follow-up releases. The songs I like on this album are Madhouse, Wait Your Turn, Hard, Stupid in Love, Rockstar 101, Rude Boy, and Te Amo. So I rate this album a 7 out of 10. On to her Loud era, and this album was her most inner-worldly expressive one. Loud is a departure from the personal, melodramatic themes of Rated R. Stylistically, it is a return to the Caribbean-inspired dance pop of Rihanna's earlier work. This will be her 5th studio album that was released on November 12, 2010 by Def Jam Recordings and SRP Records. Primarily a dance pop and R&B record, Loud differs from Rihanna's previous work, Rated R 2009, which incorporates a prominently angry tone and darker themes. Loud features up-tempo songs and marks the return of the bright, optimistic sound prominent on her first 2 albums of Music of the Sun and A Girl Like Me. It also uses rock in California King Bed and reggae in a Caribbean-inspired Man Down. The album was a commercial success and it debuted at number 3 on the US Billboard 200 chart with first week sales of 207,000 copies in the United States, giving Rihanna her highest first week sales in the US at that time. It also debuted at number 1 on Billboard's R&B and Hip Hop Albums chart. According to the International Federation of the Phonographic Industry, Loud was the 8th worldwide best-selling album of 2011. Since its release, it has sold over 8 million copies worldwide. The album produced 7 singles, including the international hits Only Girl in the World, What's My Name, and S&M. All 3 singles reached number 1 on the US Billboard Hot 100 chart. Only Girl in the World won the Grammy Award for Best Dance Recording in February 2011. Additionally, the album was nominated for 3 more Grammy Awards, including for Album of the Year. As of May 2024, Loud was certified quintuple platinum by the Recording Industry Association of America, the RIAA, denoting shipments of 5 million album equivalents units in the United States, including pure album sales of 1.8 million copies in the US as of June 2015. So the songs I liked on this album were S&M, What's My Name, Cheers, Drink to That, Only Girl in the World, Man Down, and Love the Way You Lie. But I did like how she belted her notes in the song Complicated though. I give this album a 6.5 out of 10. The Talk That Talk era is where she gets more gruff with her wordplay and playful. Talk That Talk is the 6th studio album that was released on November 18, 2011 by Def Jam Recordings and SRP Records. It was originally planned to be a reissue of her previous studio album, Loud, back in 2010. Followed in the same vein as Loud, Talk That Talk is a dance-oriented pop and R&B crossover album that incorporates elements of hip-hop, dubstep, electronic, and house music. The album also contains subtle dance hall influences, while its lyrical content and themes revolve around a nihilistic, romantic, and lavacious lover. Talk That Talk debuted at number 3 on the US Billboard 200 with first week sales of 198,000 copies and went on to sell 1.15 million copies in the United States by June 2015. According to the International Federation of the Phonographic Industry, was the 9th worldwide best-selling album of 2011. As of March 2013, the album has sold more than 5.5 million copies worldwide. The album produced 6 singles, led by We Found Love. The song became an international hit, topping the charts of 27 countries, including the US Billboard Hot 100, where it became Rihanna's 11th number 1 song and her longest-running chart topper, spending 10 weeks at the top. The only songs I liked off this album were Where Have You Been and Watch and Learn. I really liked too many songs on this album as I thought it was pretty bland and surface level energy being put into it. So I rate this album a 2 out of 10. Now we have her unapologetic era. This is when I would actually consider this to be Rihanna's vulnerability mixed with sadness that she's enduring. This is her 7th studio album that was released on November 19, 2012 by Def Jam Recordings and SRP Records. So she recorded this between June and November 2012 during promotion of her 6th studio album Talk That Talk that she did back in 2011. As executive producer of this album, Rihanna enlisted previous collaborators, The Dream, David Guetta, Chase and Status, and Stargate to work alongside new collaborators such as Park Agile, sorry if I butchered his name, Mike Will made it, and Labyrinth. Unapologetic is primarily a pop, synth pop, and R&B record that incorporates elements of hip-hop, EDM, dubstep, rock, and reggae in its production, merging the sound of her previous albums Talk That Talk, Loud, and Rated R. The album won a Grammy Award for Best Urban Contemporary Album at the 2014 ceremony, while Stay was nominated for Best Pop Duo and Group Performance. It debuted at number 1 on the US Billboard 200 with first week sales of 238,000 copies, becoming Rihanna's first number 1 album on the chart and best-selling debut week of her career. According to the International Federation of the Phonographic Industry, it was the 9th worldwide best-selling album of 2012 with sales of 2.3 million copies. As of December 2014, Unapologetic has sold over 4 million copies worldwide. The album produced 6 singles, including the international hits Diamonds and Stay. In the same week, the album's lead single, Diamonds, remained atop the Billboard Hot 100 for a second consecutive week. Consequently, Rihanna became the second artist of 2012 to top both the Billboard 200 and Hot 100 simultaneously. And in February 2018, the album was certified 3 times platinum by the Recording Industry Association of America, denoting the shipments of over 3 million album equivalents units in the US. According to the International Federation of the Phonographic Industry, the album has sold over 2.3 million copies worldwide by February 2013, making it the 8th best-selling album of 2012. As of March 2015, Unapologetic has sold over 4 million copies worldwide. Unapologetic was ranked as the 10th most popular album of 2013 on the Billboard 200. The album is exactly like her song titled Get It Over With too, because honestly, this describes this album in its entirety she made, and she should have just left Diamonds alone instead of adding another version of it on her deluxe. She was ultimately better off at making an EP, or rather singles really. It's something to listen to in passing. So I rate this album a 4 out of 10. Last but not least, we have her anti-era. This era of hers, as I would like to call it, her resiliency through sadness backed by emotional irritation and apathy in her music. This is her 8th studio album that was released on January 28, 2016 by Westbury Road. Rihanna started recording in 2013 after departing from Def Jam Recordings, who had released all of her albums since her 2005 debut. Anti is characterized by atmospheric production incorporating lo-fi beats, distorted vocals, and down-tempo arrangements. The first half consists of bass-heavy tracks, while the second is characterized by texture minimalism. Compared to the radio-friendly dance songs which had characterized Rihanna's prior discography, Anti is more muted and soulful. Primarily a pop, dancehall, psychedelic soul, and R&B album, Anti also incorporates an array of eclectic influences spanning from hip-hop, soul, industrial, psychedelic, doo-wop, country, synth rock, and trap. The lyrics are about the emotions ensued from love and relationships, from endearment and desire to betrayal and liberation, with references to sex, drugs, and alcohol. In the United States, Anti is Rihanna's second number 1 album and the only album by a Black woman to spend 500 weeks on a Billboard 200. It was certified 6 times platinum by the Recording Industry Association of America, the RIAA. At the 2017 Grammy Awards, the album and its singles received 6 nominations, including 1 for Best Urban Contemporary Album. As of July 2025, Anti is the 4th longest charting female album in Billboard 200 history. The songs that I liked off the album were Consideration, James Joint, Kiss It Better, Work, Desperado, Woo, Needed Me, Yeah I Said It, Love on the Brain, Good Night Gotham, Pose, and Sex With Me. So I thought this album of hers was overall okay, so I rated a 6.5 out of 10. What's next for Rihanna? We'll continue to see as her career evolves for what it appears to be. As of late, she has been focusing on her business in Fenty Beauty and her artistry in her next phase of music. I hope you enjoyed today's video, and I appreciate you for watching. Feel free to leave comments if you want, and click the subscribe button if you like more content. And don't forget, you are fabulous exactly the way God made you. Get your groove on, and I hope you have a happy rest of your day. Bye!